Hello, class. These are our notes for area of squares and rectangles for informal geometry. So just to remember what a rectangle is, a rectangle has 4 right angles. So it looks something like this. And we have our base that we normally call B and our height that we'll call H. And so our area is going to equal base times height. And when I'm doing base times height, really we just abbreviate it. So we'd write A equals BH. So you could certainly do the area of a square the same way, but because all of the sides on our square are equal, so square by definition is a regular polygon. It has 4 equal sides and 4 equal angles that are 90 degrees each. So because a square has all 4 sides equal, when I multiply my base times my height, they're both the same. So we're really doing a side times a side, which is going to be a side squared. So we normally write it as s squared, where s is a side. So we could do base times height, but it's probably faster to take that number and square it instead. So we're going to look at a couple examples for finding the area of each of these. So the first one, we can notice the 4 equal sides and the 4 equal angles. And one side of it is 11, so we know we're doing a square. So then my area is going to be 11 squared. I'm following this formula for square that we have right here. And 11 squared is 121, because when we multiply 11 times 11, we're also multiplying meters by meters. It's going to be meters squared. On the next one, I have a rectangle and my base is 6 and my height is 2. So my area is going to equal my base times my height, which is 6 times 2. That makes 12. And then feet times feet would be square feet, or feet squared, like that. So on the next two, we're doing it it's a little bit different. So now we're given our area, we're given a base, but we don't know what our height is. So let me think about my formula. My formula is area equals base times height. My area is 54 and my height is 9. So instead of A, I can write 54. Instead of actually H is what we're looking for. This is my base. So instead of my base, I'm going to put in 9, and then H is what I'm solving for. So now we're solving an equation again. Divide both sides by 9, and 6 is equal to H, which means my height is 6 inches. So I do want to go ahead and add units onto that and do one more step. So we are going to go back to solving some equations. It seems like they've been in every chapter. Looking at problem 3, now we're just given words, so there's no diagram this time. It says a rectangle has an area of 51 square meters. So area equals 51 meters squared, and a height of 4 meters. So H equals 4 meters. And what we are looking for is we are finding the length of the base. So base is what we're looking for. So let's go ahead and kind of do something similar to the last one. We're going to set up our area formula. And instead of the A, I'm going to put 51. My base is what I'm looking for this time. And my height is 4. And then we'll divide both sides by 4. And when we divide by 4, we end up with 12.75. And that's going to be, and I've got to remember it's meters. So I'm going to go ahead and add on my units right now. So that's going to equal my base. On this last one, we've got kind of a complicated area model here. So we're trying to find the area of the whole thing. So I'm going to break this into parts, and I'm going to look at F and G and H. And I'm just going to do F first because it's first in the alphabet. So if I look at F, do I have a base and a height? And it looks like I do. So I'm looking at area F. I have a base of 4 and a height of 3. So I can find the area of F right now. And so I'm going to write a big A for area, and then the subscript F to show that I'm looking at part F. And then I think I'm even going to use the same color on it just to kind of highlight it. That way I can match the two of them up. The color is easier to match up. And so we decided our base was 4 and our height was 3. And so 4 times 3 is going to be 12 centimeters squared. All right, now I'm going to look at G. So let's go ahead and choose a color for G. So G is right here. And so I'm finding the area of G. Okay. And on this one, it's a little more complicated because I don't have a number for my base and I don't have a number for my height. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work. So when they tell us 7 centimeters, they mean this entire width here is 7. And we already know that this little piece is 4 right here. So that means this piece, and that's going to be like the base or the width, because if it's at the top here, it's also the same as on the bottom, right? So I can call it the base. So that means these two pieces together need to add up and make 7. So something plus 4 is going to equal 7. So that means this one's going to be 3. So that way, if I have 3 for this width and I have 4 for that, all together they make 7. And then I've got to figure out this height. So there's a number that's kind of been chopped off on the side. It said 9 centimeters out here, and that was my total height. And I know I have a height of 2 right here. So if I think about my other vertical distance, that's going to be the height of this blue rectangle that I'm trying to find for my G. Ooh, that went really blurry there for a second. So if this is 2, then this one's going to have a height of 7. So 7 plus 2 would bring me back to 9. So in order to find this blue rectangle now, I need to do 3 times 7, which is going to be 21 centimeters squared. So again, 9 is my whole height, but I have a height of 2 over here. And so this one's got to be 7, because the 7 plus the 2 would bring me back to 9. And then same thing when I'm looking at my base instead. This whole width or base here is 7. So if this piece is 4, then this little piece has to be 3. 3 plus 4 would make 7. So the last one I am working on is the area of H. So let's go ahead and highlight that one. We'll do yellow for that one. So this is my area of H. And to find my area of H, let's see, my base is 5 and my height is 2. So this is going to be another easy one. 5 times 2 is going to be 10 centimeters squared. And then if I'm trying to find so here it is, 5 times 2, 10 meters squared. So if I'm trying to find my total area, I would have to add all of those parts together. I'd have to add my orange, blue, and my yellow squares or rectangles. I guess they're all rectangles. We don't have any squares, do we? So we're going to be adding 12 plus 21 plus 10, which is going to be, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 43. And our units were centimeters squared. So that would be our total area. So if you have questions in class, please make sure that you ask them, and you could go ahead and work on your 8.3 homework now.